It's never too late to change careers. I did a live with a fantastic lady called Charlotte yesterday, who's had a really similar path to me. And I'm in a coaching container with lots of people, men and women, who have done the same thing, got to a certain point in their life where they've decided, for a number of reasons, they're not happy with their life and they want to retrain. And that is exactly what happened to me. I spent 25 years as a photographer, loved it. Okay, was really good at it. This is another thing that people come to me and say, that you can't change career if you're already established in your career. That's what people said to me when I wanted to change. Everybody I said, I've got 2 degrees in photography, one in photography, one in photographic arts, which is more theory based. And I worked as a photographer from the age of 16. I started learning. 19, I started charging for my work. I did everything from traveling as an independent journalistic photographic artist, documenting people's lives, which I loved so much. I photographed children. When I had my small babies, I would put them on a sling on my back and I would photograph other people's children because they were happy with me bringing my child along, and I found a way to make it work, right? I've worked photographing motorsports and I really enjoyed doing that. I did some incredible things within that industry. And then I worked photographing people. I did creative portraiture. I worked in the music industry. I had some of the best years of my life working in the music industry. I have some super rock and roll stories that I could tell. And then I started photographing weddings. Kind of feel like that's kind of where every photographer goes to die a little bit, which is a bit sad. Again, I was excellent at it. I was really good at it. The creative photography, mingling with the people, everything. The pre-photography, the pre-wedding shoots, everything to do with wedding photography was in my comfort zone, and I was great at the marketing. I was very comfortable with it. And for me, my biggest why, you have to have a big why, right? If you're looking to change your life, if I was working with you as a coach, probably one of the first things I would ask you is why? Why do you want to change? Why now? Why is it important? And these are questions you can ask yourself. For me, lots of things happened that were pivotal. So, for a start, COVID killed my business. I had several businesses. I had my photography business and I had a VR filming company where I filmed venues as dressed up venues. So you could go into a hotel with it just dressed as a hotel. You could put on the headset and you could look around and you could see the fantastic transformation that takes place with most wedding venues. And that was fantastic too. And I loved it and I was very good at it. COVID killed both of those businesses. The second powerful why for me was I had made the mistake of merging my business with my partner's business. My partner at the time was extremely abusive and toxic, and I managed to get rid of him. And I was then, after COVID, so COVID has happened, obliterated everything. I got out of the relationship I was in, and I just didn't even know who I was anymore. And I certainly did not want to go back to photography because I had an association with that really rubbish relationship and the way that was making me feel. And I wanted to get away from that. I didn't want that for me anymore. So it was almost a blessing. We talk about with resilience, learning that things don't happen to you, they happen for you. All that is, it sounds wishy washy, but it's just a slight tweak in the way you're thinking about something. So for me, COVID ruined my business. I could have been a complete victim and said, well, COVID has ruined my businesses, everything's rubbish, it's all over. When I got rid of the partner that I had, and he took a whole bunch of my equipment, my images, my clients, I could have said, that is something awful that happened for me or happened to me, sorry. But actually, the way I saw that was, this is a huge blessing because I no longer had to sit around umming and ahhing, not really enjoying my job, but also I was fighting the conversations I was having with people who had only known me as a photographer. They knew me as a successful photographer. No one understood why I wanted to leave that. And it's hard when you have something that is established, that is working, that is bringing in money, that you've studied hard for, that you've worked hard for, that you have decades of experience in. It's hard to walk away from that. And really trying to convey why I wanted to leave those things would actually be quite difficult because it's very personal. It's about my journey. For me, it wasn't right for a million different reasons that all added up to be one huge ball ache. I didn't want to be doing it anymore. So I learned what I wanted to do. That sounds so simple, but it really wasn't. I spent the best part of 2 years figuring out, what do I like? What am I passionate about? What am I good at? What can make me money? How can I cross these things over? And I realized throughout my life, one of the things that I was most drawn towards was sitting with people who were going through situations in their life and helping them to look at it a different way, giving them a different perspective. And that's coaching. And this isn't me saying you should all go out and be coaches, although coaching is amazing and maybe you should. This is me saying this is how I figured out the process of finding what I wanted to do. When I realized coaching was even a thing, I made the decision this is what I wanted to do. It was very important for me to be certified. You don't have to be certified in this, but this was part of my process. And the process you will go through, if this is you, will be very personal to you as well. And I really had to have faith in myself and trust and be a twig in the wind, to be honest, for a little while, because I had no idea how this was going to happen. I knew that I could make it happen. I know that I can do anything I set my mind to. I've always had that. I'm very lucky. That's one of the things that was instilled in me from childhood. But it's also something I could have learned. You can learn different ways of thinking, right? I found the right person for me at the time to do my course with. And I did my course and I fell in love with it. And it's all I think about and talk about. And everything I create content for is to help people, give value to people. If something in my journey can help other people or something I've learned in my coaching or in sessions with clients, I want to give that as value to other people so that I am a valuable member of this global society that we're in. And that's what's important for me. And again, this is not me saying if you want to change your life, you should go do something that feels lofty and, maybe everything I've just said feels holier than thou to you. It's really irrelevant what I was and what I've retrained as. The important thing here is that it's more than possible for anyone in any situation to change their life, to change their career. So I am going to be 45 next month. So I was well into my 40s by the time I started the certifying process of my new career. And even though I've been doing this now for a couple of years, I'm still very early days. I mean, I was a photographer for 25 years, and now I'm something different. I'm a coach. And it's taken me probably till around now, so probably a couple of years in, for other people to define me in that way. But the important thing was trusting my intuition, trusting my instinct, and deciding myself how I wanted to be defined. And for me, I started defining myself as a coach years ago. And that was pivotal for me. And that was all about leaning into the uncertainty of the process, but also committing to the process. So if you're at a point in your life where you hate going to work every single day, change your life, please. You don't have to be unhappy. It's not normal to live a life where you just live to work and you are unhappy every single day. If you are coming home from work dreading the next morning, please trust the process and change your life. Find out what it is that you want to do. You might not have that same cut that I had with COVID ruining everything and, coming out of a relationship. But that can almost be easier because you can start to work on yourself, develop yourself, work on your personal growth, really start to figure out what you like and who you are, and funnel that into the commitment to a new career, to a more fulfilling life, to a life that fits you, a life that makes you feel happy and excited and doesn't stress you out. because life is so short. And we really buy into this idea that work is supposed to be a bit rubbish and a bit of a grind. Now, I work really hard, and I work crazy hours, but that's by my choice. And it's because it's my passion. And at the same time, I have my own independence, which is very, very important to me. And maybe none of those things are important to you. Maybe it's as simple as you want to go work for a different company, but you've been at company A for however many years, or you have a certain level of security there and you don't want to lose that. But if you are unhappy, I encourage you, please, to trust that you can absolutely change your life. You can absolutely go do a different job. You can absolutely go get a different career. And this can be at any age. You might be 22 listening to this, feeling like you can't make a big change in your life. Or maybe you've studied at university for something and you've been working towards a certain plan and goal, and you no longer want to do that because you've changed, because that's what we do as human beings. We experience life, and then who we are and what we want changes. It's normal. It's not normal to stay the same your whole life. Actually, what we're looking for in this human experience is expansion and growth. So if you've reached a point in your life, whether you're 22 or 58, and you think, I want to do something different, fantastic. That's amazing. Go do the different thing. As always, guys, have the best possible day.